Okay, so welcome to the Deep Dive, episode 21. And today, folks, we are diving headfirst into a rabbit hole so deep, so bizarre, it makes like the Bermuda Triangle look like a kiddie pool.
Sounds intriguing.
Oh, it is. We're talking about QAnon. And you gotta admit, the whole premise is kind of wild, right?
It certainly gains significant traction and attention.
It's like, imagine, right, a top secret government insider like leaking cryptic clues on the internet for, us regular folks to decode.
It does have that choose-your-own-adventure conspiracy theory vibe, doesn't it?
Exactly. And where does this digital mystery begin? Well, picture the internet back in like the mid-2000s. We're going way back before your fancy Instagram feeds and whatnot. We're talking about the wild west of the web, a place called 4chan.
4chan. A fascinating and often controversial corner of the internet.
Oh, absolutely. Now, for those who haven't braved the depths of 4chan, think of it as like a digital bulletin board, but specifically for like hardcore anime fans.
Yeah. It originated as a forum for sharing images and discussing Japanese animation, manga, and that kind of thing.
Right. And get this, it was started by like a high school kid.
Founded in 2003 by Christopher Moot Poole, based on a similar Japanese image board called Futaba Channel.
Yeah, Moot. It's always interesting to see how these online empires start from such humble beginnings.
The structure and culture of 4chan were quite distinct from other online forums at the time.
Totally. You had like complete anonymity. Everyone was basically a shadow posting whatever they wanted. Posts appeared in chronological order, so it was just a constant stream of like consciousness and moderation. But let's just say, unless it was like blatantly illegal, snuff films, child porn, that kind of stuff, it pretty much flew under the radar.
The moderation on 4chan was primarily focused on removing illegal content. Beyond that, the platform was largely self-regulating.
Which is wild, right? I mean, you had folks protesting, ironically, of course, about the removal of truly awful stuff. It's like a glimpse into the darker side of human nature.
It does raise questions about the balance between free speech and the responsibility to prevent the spread of harmful content.
Oh, for sure. But here's the thing, right? This chaotic anything-goes environment unexpectedly became like a breeding ground for internet culture.
It's fascinating how a platform with minimal oversight could become so influential in shaping online trends.
Seriously, we're talking like the birth of memes as we know them. LOL cats, chocolate rain, even the Rickroll, remember that? Pure internet gold.
These early memes, originating from 4chan, demonstrate the platform's impact on the evolution of internet humor and communication.
It's incredible, right? From a niche anime forum to shaping how we all interact online. But 4chan's legacy isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Indeed. There's a darker side to the platform's history.
You've got the hacktivist group Anonymous, which has its roots in 4chan. And there's a chilling history of arrests linked to users posting illegal content and, even more disturbingly, credible threats of violence, like real-world consequences. It makes you wonder about the line between online anonymity and real-world accountability.
The anonymity provided by 4chan, while empowering in some contexts, also created a space where individuals could engage in harmful behavior with a perceived sense of impunity.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that these weren't just empty threats. Some of these cases led to real-world arrests and convictions. It's a stark reminder that online actions can have serious offline consequences. But, in a way, 4chan was almost like a training ground for a much wilder, more elaborate conspiracy theory, Pizzagate.
Pizzagate was a significant precursor to QAnon.
Oh, totally. Think of it as like QAnon's eccentric cousin. Back in 2016, this completely unfounded conspiracy theory started circulating online.
It alleged that high-ranking Democratic Party officials, including Hillary Clinton, were involved in a child sex trafficking ring.
Right, and the supposed headquarters of this evil operation.
A Washington, D.C. pizzeria called Comet Ping Pong.
Comet Ping Pong, a totally normal, family-friendly pizza place, no basement, no secret tunnels, nothing. But the internet, in its infinite wisdom, decided it was the epicenter of this global conspiracy.
The claims were completely unsubstantiated and debunked by numerous fact-checking organizations and law enforcement agencies.
But none of that mattered to folks who were convinced. And sadly, this wasn't just some harmless online chatter. It had real-world consequences.
Perhaps the most alarming example is the case of Edgar Welch.
Edgar Welch, right?
He drove from North Carolina to Comet Ping Pong armed with an assault rifle, intending to self-investigate the alleged child sex trafficking ring.
He fired shots inside the pizzeria. Luckily, nobody got hurt. But it really underscores the danger of these online delusions bleeding into the real world.
Welch's actions highlight the potential for online conspiracy theories to incite violence and harm in the offline world.
And here's the thing, right? Even after Welch's arrest and the complete debunking of Pizzagate, a significant number of people continued to believe it. It makes you wonder how these narratives take such a strong hold.
It suggests that certain individuals are predisposed to believe in such theories, even when confronted with overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
And then, just to make things even weirder, in August 2019, an anonymous poster on 4chan, not Q yet, mind you, accurately predicted Jeffrey Epstein's death.
This prediction, posted 38 minutes before the official announcement, mentioned both hanging and cardiac arrest, the two factors ultimately cited in Epstein's death.
Talk about a creepy coincidence.
It's certainly an unsettling detail.
So imagine you're on 4chan, you've got this Pizzagate craziness still lingering, and suddenly someone correctly predicts Epstein's death before anyone else. It creates this atmosphere where, like, anything seems possible.
This instance may have inadvertently primed the environment for the emergence of QAnon by creating a sense that hidden truths were being revealed on 4chan.
Exactly. And it's against this backdrop of, like, digital chaos and simmering conspiracy theories that QAnon makes its grand debut.
In October 2017.
Yep, October 2017. An anonymous poster on 4chan drops this bombshell prediction: Hillary Clinton's about to be arrested.
The post specified a date and time: Monday morning between 7:45 and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
It was like a countdown to, well, nothing, really. Because, spoiler alert, Hillary was not arrested.
The prediction failed to materialize.
Wait time. But instead of, like, fading into obscurity, this anonymous poster reinvents themselves as Q.
This marked the beginning of QAnon.
Right. And this Q character claimed that, that Hillary's extradition was actually already in motion.
The post alleged the involvement of U.S. Marines and the National Guard in a covert operation.
Super dramatic, right?
And crucially, Q used a trip code that linked them back to the original incorrect prediction.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to maintain this illusion of, like, insider knowledge even after their first prediction completely flopped.
This use of a trip code created a superficial sense of continuity, suggesting that it was the same individual offering further explanation and insight.
So what was Q's whole deal? What were they pushing?
Initially, the focus was very pro-Trump and anti-establishment.
Right. It wasn't your typical, like, Republicans versus Democrats kind of thing. Q specifically stated it wasn't an R versus D battle. It was about, like, draining the swamp, exposing the deep state, that sort of thing.
This framing likely broadened QAnon's appeal beyond traditional partisan lines, tapping into a broader sentiment of anti-establishment sentiment.
And the way Q communicated was like pure internet catnip. Lots of cryptic questions, vague statements, encouraging followers to do their own research and connect the dots themselves.
This gamified approach was highly effective in fostering engagement and a sense of community among followers.
It was like a giant collaborative puzzle, right? Like everyone trying to decipher these cryptic messages and piece together this grand narrative.
It created a sense of shared purpose and discovery, which likely contributed to the rapid spread of the ideology.
And even the name Q, it was like strategically chosen. It comes from Q clearance, which is like the Department of Energy's equivalent to top secret security clearance. It instantly gave this random internet poster an air of authority.
The use of the term Q clearance was likely intended to imbue the anonymous poster with an aura of credibility and access to highly classified information.
It's brilliant marketing, actually. Whether you believe it or not, the name itself implies access to some, like, hidden knowledge.
It's a clever use of language to establish authority and generate intrigue.
Absolutely. And over the next few years, Q just kept dropping these cryptic messages, thousands of them. They became known as Q drops. It was like an online fire hose of conspiracy theories.
The sheer volume of these posts, combined with their often ambiguous nature, made them ripe for a wide range of interpretations.
Oh, yeah. People were, like, dissecting these Q drops like they were ancient scrolls or something.
It became a decentralized, collaborative effort to decipher the supposed hidden meanings and connect them to current events.
And this whole thing might have stayed, relatively contained within the weird corners of the internet if it weren't for, well, YouTube.
The platform played a significant role in amplifying QAnon's reach.
Oh, huge. You had these YouTube influencers, folks like Tracy Diaz, who really latched on to QAnon. They started making videos decoding these Q drops for their followers. And, well, you know what happens when something goes viral on YouTube?
It can reach millions of viewers very quickly.
Exactly. And these influencers weren't just doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, right? They were building entire empires.
The monetization of QAnon content became a significant factor in its spread.
Oh, yeah. We're talking Patreon, merchandise, even like weird QAnon-themed supplements and stuff. People are making bank off of this. And that, of course, created a strong incentive to keep the conspiracy train rolling.
The financial incentives likely contributed to the increasingly elaborate interpretations and the proliferation of QAnon-related content.
Right. It became less about like truth-seeking and more about, clicks and cash.
The lines between genuine belief and the pursuit of profit can become blurred in such online environments.
Absolutely. But 4chan, as wonderfully weird as it is, isn't exactly the most user-friendly platform.
It's not designed for mainstream appeal.
Not at all. So naturally, efforts sprang up to create like more organized QAnon communities on Reddit, a place where you didn't have to wade through a sea of internet weirdness to find your conspiracy fix.
Reddit, with its subreddit structure, provided a more organized and accessible platform for discussion.
Right. So you had RCBT Stream, which stood for Calm Before the Storm.
A phrase that gained significance within QAnon circles, associated with the anticipation of imminent dramatic events.
Yeah, and it all stemmed from this press conference where Trump used the phrase "calm before the storm," and he waved his hand in a way that some folks interpreted as drawing a Q in the air. I'm not kidding.
These seemingly innocuous gestures or phrases were often interpreted by QAnon followers as coded signals.
Right. And then there was Hearthrick Great Awakening, which referred to the supposed moment when everyone would finally wake up and see the truth about the deep state.
The Great Awakening is a central concept in QAnon ideology, representing a mass realization of the supposed hidden truths about the world.
But Reddit wasn't exactly thrilled about hosting these increasingly fringe communities. Both subreddits got banned for, the usual internet shenanigans.
Yeah.
Harassment, spreading misinformation, that sort of thing.
The bans highlighted the tension between fostering open discussion and preventing the spread of harmful content.
Totally. So where do you go when Reddit's not extreme enough for you?
8chan and later 8con.
8chan. Now, if 4chan was the internet's slightly dodgy playground, 8chan was, let's just say it had even fewer rules and a much darker atmosphere. It's where Q, or whoever was running the show, decided to move the whole QAnon operation after declaring 4chan compromised.
The move to 8chan, and later 8can, signaled a shift towards even less moderated online spaces.
Yeah, 8chan became infamous. It's where the perpetrators of those horrible mass shootings in the U.S. and New Zealand posted their manifestos.
These tragic events brought significant negative attention to the platform, highlighting the potential dangers of unmoderated spaces.
It was a real lead point for the internet, honestly. Even the owner, Jim Watkins, had to, temporarily shut it down and rebrand it as 8gun.
The rebranding did little to address the underlying issues that made the platform attractive to extremist groups.
Right. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
A rather apt analogy.
And then, after the 2020 election, just as suddenly as it started, Q went silent.
The last post, in December 2020, was a link to the Twisted Sister song, We're Not Gonna Take It.
And poof, the oracle disappeared.
The cessation of Q's posting left a void within the movement.
But here's the thing, right? Even without Q actively posting, a significant portion of the American population, we're talking 15 to 20%, still believe in at least some of the core QAnon tenets.
This demonstrates the enduring power of the narrative that QAnon constructed.
So what do these folks believe? Well, at its core, QAnon claims there's this deep state, these shadowy figures secretly controlling the world.
This deep state is often depicted as being comprised of global elites, politicians, celebrities, and media figures.
And it gets way weirder. We're talking a global cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles who are also, get this, harvesting adrenochrome from tortured children.
It's important to note that the adrenochrome claims are completely unfounded and have no scientific basis.
Right. It's basically what happens when adrenaline breaks down. You can literally buy it online. But in the QAnon universe, it's this magical elixir that these evil elites are obsessed with.
The adrenochrome narrative is a particularly disturbing and unfounded aspect of the QAnon ideology.
And who are the supposed members of this evil cabal? Well, surprise, surprise, mostly left-leaning figures. It's like a politically charged horror movie.
The targeting of specific individuals and groups is a common feature of conspiracy theories.
And then you've got the Great Awakening, which is when everyone will supposedly wake up to the truth, and the Storm, which was supposed to be this massive event where Trump would unleash the military and arrest all these deep state villains.
These concepts represent a key eschatological element within QAnon, promising a future reckoning and vindication for followers.
Right, it's like a cosmic showdown between good and evil. And at the center of it all,
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, the unlikely hero, fighting the secret war against corruption and the whole do your own research thing. Well, in the QAnon world, that often translates to, like, ignore any information that contradicts our beliefs and only trust sources within our echo chamber. It's research with very specific boundaries.
This encouragement of research often serves to reinforce existing biases and discourage critical thinking.
Oh, absolutely. And then there was that whole Wayfair conspiracy theory.
A particularly bizarre offshoot of the QAnon ideology.
Oh, yeah. It claimed that Wayfair, the furniture company, was secretly trafficking children through their website.
The evidence cited was often misinterpretations of product names, pricing, and stock-keeping unit numbers.
It was completely bonkers, but it spread like wildfire online, and it actually caused real harm. People were harassing Wayfair employees, and individuals falsely identified as missing children were subjected to, like, online abuse.
The Wayfair conspiracy highlights the potential for real-world harm caused by the spread of misinformation online.
And the scary thing is how easily QAnon adapts to current events. COVID hits. Boom! Suddenly it's a bioweapon or a hoax orchestrated by Bill Gates. It's constantly evolving, incorporating new events into its narrative.
This adaptability is a key factor in its longevity and appeal. It offers a seemingly comprehensive explanation for complex and often unsettling events.
Right. It's like this ever-shifting puzzle that always seems to fit together no matter what's happening in the world.
It provides a sense of order and control in a world that can often feel chaotic and unpredictable.
And then, of course, the big question, who was Q?
The true identity of the individual or individuals behind the Q account remains a mystery.
There are tons of theories, right? Military insider, Trump staffer. Some folks even thought it was Trump himself.
The speculation surrounding Q's identity has only added to the mystique and intrigue surrounding the movement.
But some folks have actually done some real detective work.
Forensic linguists and investigative journalists have uncovered some compelling leads.
Right. And the evidence seems to point towards two main figures. Paul Ferber, a 4chan moderator, and Ron Watkins, the son of Ekon's owner, Jim Watkins.
Paul Ferber's writing style, prior to the emergence of QAnon, bears striking similarities to the early Q drops.
It's pretty uncanny. Ferber claims it's just a coincidence that everyone started copying Q's style, but I'm not buying it.
The linguistic analysis suggests otherwise.
And Ron Watkins, he was a major QAnon promoter, and he really pushed that whole stolen election narrative after 2020.
And in the HBO documentary Q Into the Storm, Watkins makes a telling slip-up, seemingly admitting to his involvement with the Q account.
It's pretty damning.
Indeed.
So here we are, right? Q is gone, but the movement lives on.
Leaderless, decentralized, and constantly evolving.
And it's had a real-world impact. The January 6th Capitol attack, while not directly organized by Q, was fueled by many of the same beliefs and conspiracy theories that QAnon popularized.
The events of January 6th highlight the potential for online conspiracy theories to incite real-world violence and undermine democratic institutions.
It's a scary thought. And it makes you wonder, right? Is a world where Q is actively posting really any scarier than a world where their ideology has taken on a life of its own?
That's a question worth pondering. The future of QAnon and its impact on society remains uncertain.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on. So until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and maybe double-check the prices and product descriptions before you buy furniture online.